Welcome back to iMark and to Making Money Matter here at iMark. I'm your host, Kerry Stevenson. Managed to flag down, being funny, flag down Paul Locke. He is the Managing Director of Flagship Minerals. ASX code is FLG. They have the Pantanillo Project over in Chile. And Chile has been in the news a little bit. In fact, I was talking to the Chilean government here at iMark just yesterday. Latin America is really opening up for business. And a lot of juniors going across there, getting projects. And the Pantanillo Gold Project is surrounded by majors. And Paul thinks that he's got here the tiger by the tail. So I've asked him to come and join us and have a chat about why should people care about Flagship right now.
Okay.
Tell them.
Right.
Don't tell me. Tell them. They're my beautiful audience out there.
Well, we have got the tiger by the tail, Kerry. And the reason the Pantanillo Gold Project sticks out from the crowd, and your viewers should have a look, is that this project was owned by Anglo.
That's right.
A lot of work was done on it by Kinross, and then a smaller TSX group called Orosur. All this work was done between 2006 or 7 through to 2014. Included NI 43-101.
What does that mean?
That's the Canadian code for basically, it goes through all different phases, but you have to lodge under that code when you lodge a resource, a PEA, feasibility, and so on. Okay. So it's just a set of guidelines. It's actually really robust. I recommend to anyone who wants to learn about a particular style of project to look up a Canadian NI 43-101 in that and read it, because you'll learn a lot. But done under that code, being an ASX company, we need to convert from that to a JORC resource. We're doing that. Okay. But they're essentially the same. In fact, the NI 43-101 or code led JORC, and JORC sort of was playing catch up.
And JORC, just for those people that don't understand it, is a set of guidelines for you to follow, if you like.
Yep, it's a set of criteria to make sure that your resource meets these criteria, so that when readers read that you have a resource, that they have confidence that the resource is real. And this all started with Bre-X back in the 90s, really.
And Bre-X, for those of you that don't know, Bre-X was a company that claimed that they had millions and millions of ounces of gold, and it was, what did they call it? Salted. In other words, it wasn't real. The gold, they were basically telling the market that they had these enormously high-grade golds up in, I think it was Indonesia, wasn't it?
Indonesia.
And it was all fake. And so as a result of the Bre-X debacle, and you could, there's documentaries about it, that's when this sort of JORC and this, I guess, the criteria started to make sure that people were a little bit more robust around what they were saying, correct?
Yeah, and actually it was really interesting because I was at Rothschild then, and back at that period, so it was around sort of 2000, Rothschild and Macquarie Bank were the two lead financiers of smaller projects, mining projects, and we were quite competitive. And I believe Macquarie Bank was behind Bre-X, and our guys at Rothschild said there's something wrong with it.
Really?
When it blew up, we had Bre-X posters all around the office. We thought it was very funny.
You had Bre-X what, posters?
Posters around the office. So it's just one of those little
something you can brag about that you didn't get involved with. But let's get back to Flagship.
Yeah. Okay. So NI 43-101.
Yep.
Converting to JORC, because that's a requirement under ASX.
Under ASX rules, yep.
So so when I talk about all the numbers now, the clarification is it's not a JORC yet, but it's essentially the same. So we picked up this project earlier this year. It's got 1.05 million ounces of gold. It's just gold, so it's not equivalence. It's 80% measured. The resource is supported by 20,500 meters of drilling. And then a few months ago, we picked up the Anglo data set, which is all the work done on the project since Anglo's held it, including the Kinross and Orosur work. And that included a total of about 33,000 meters of drilling, 14,000 of diamond, metallurgical test work. Actually, it's a massive amount of work, and we estimate it would cost 15 to 20 million US
to get that work,
and take 4 to 5 years to do that work.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
so Pantanillo is actually a very advanced project, and it's had a lot of work done on it. So we just did a small capital raise. We raised 4.2 million, and a Chinese EPC group called Xinhai came in for 2.5 million, and they'll join our board. And Xinhai actually has given Flagship construction credibility. And when I use that word or phrase, what I'm really saying is our board, which is really David Hobby, who's an economic geologist, and myself, ex-project financier. We're good at finding and getting projects started, but at the end of the day, we need engineering capability.
100%.
And Xinhai has bought that in one fell swoop. So we've got a company which has done hundreds of projects, hundreds of EPC. They also they construct and manage. They can operate. And that means that we have in-house now the capabilities to take what we've got, go through metallurgy, engineering. We'll do pre-feeds, and then depending on the results there, we can go straight through the feed and then funding to build the project.
Are you really going to build the project, or are you hoping someone will step in and go, we want it?
No, good projects are difficult to find. And so, I'm playing the long game. David Hobby and I really enjoy what we do. And we see this, we've been looking for the cornerstone project. We thought we had it in lithium, didn't work out. In Pantanillo, we've got it. It's a cornerstone project which can get us to cash flow, and then we can start the real games. And that's, looking at other opportunities to bring in and building a mining company. That's what we want.
All right. Just give me 2 reasons why people should be sitting up right now and taking notes.
Well, we're cheap.
That's what they all say.
No, it's true. So
that's what all my boyfriends say. We're cheap. Excuse me.
If the viewers, if you go to our website and pull down our latest presentation, we have a peer group in there. The peer group is based on companies with more than 500,000 ounces of gold, and they are pre any feasibility work. So they're the same as us. And in that peer curve, we've got, I think it's 17 companies, ASX, TSX, various geographies. The average EV over ounce valuation is $140 odd, and right now we're at about $38.
Okay.
So just on our current ounces, we should see a lot of upside. But then this is really where we're going. When we upgrade to JORC, we're going to drop our cut-off grade in line with our peers from 0.3 grams to 0.15 grams a tonne. Our current resource is pit constrained, which means the ounces are all available to mine. And then what that means is we're going to bring in a tonne more new ounces and then change our economics to today, because we're using a gold price of 1,035. And so we should see our resource increase materially.
Okay.
And we can do all of this without drilling a hole. So any drilling we do in the next 6 months will be strategic spot drilling, just to bring any inferred into indicated.
Okay.
So that's all it's about.
All right. Well, I just want to have a quick catch up with you, bring Flagship into their orbit. Not financial advice, ladies and gentlemen. As always, give him a call, go onto his website, check out his latest presentation, because I don't know your circumstances. I don't know your risk profile. It's just one that I wanted to bring to your attention. It's an interesting jurisdiction. Chile is definitely open for business. It's a pure gold play, so it's 100% gold play. No credits, etc. if you like. And Paul thinks he's got the tiger by the tail. We'll see. We'll see. Check him out. Keep checking on Making Money Matter. And thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Thank you.